and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is What the Fuck Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. I'm Will. We got the Beeve, and we got Mark. And what the fuck is this? We got Wes back with us today. Woo!
Gentlemen,
T-Wes in the house.
how are you doing?
What's
Good.
up, Wes?
What's happening?
Not much.
It's good
been
to be
50
back.
days. How you been? What you been up to?
Well, I can just get into it. You want to just get right into it?
A lot of people thought you were dead, Wes.
My cat almost died there. Yeah, get into it.
I got it.
No, Wes. We've only had like 75 questions, several 5-star reviews. Like a billion voicemails. No, we don't want to
Okay.
get into it at all.
Okay.
No,
right.
yeah, please. What you been doing?
All right. Well, I have been in rehab. Yeah. I went to a rehab for alcohol, and that is where I have been. I was going to make up this elaborate story that I got attacked by like a pack of pit bulls and was in a coma, but I figured that would be a little
Sex rehab.
A little insensitive. Yeah, sex rehab, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people
made one-
Insatiable sex with beers.
a lot of people thought you were on Sex Island.
Right.
Yeah, we made a joke. We made a joke that you were at Sex Island. It didn't catch on.
No.
Well, also now you got to watch out for that because you don't want to be confused with the Epstein Island. So you really got to you just gotta avoid.
We're gonna
sex
avoid
islands.
those islands. Yes. But yeah, so that's where I was. I mean, I guess, long listeners have been kind of knew about my struggle or my attempt to stop drinking before. I was, on like a hiatus for like 4 months, and then, combination of the disease and COVID and some other stuff, and I started drinking again, and then it got worse and worse and worse, and then these guys. We had a Zoom meeting, and I showed up, and I looked like I was dead, basically. Like
You look a billion times better today.
Yeah.
than
Thank
that
you.
Zoom meeting.
Significantly less bloated.
Right? Yeah. Well, I lost 30 pounds while I was in there. See you guys. Yeah.
Send me to rehab.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
amazing what not drinking 20 beers a day will do for your waistline.
He was at weight loss camp is where he
Yeah,
was.
exactly. I was walking around like crazy. So you guys, for the listeners out there, these guys were extremely supportive. Mark and Will kind of like came over to my house. I guess it was a couple days after that Zoom, and we're just
Pat.
like, well, I'm sorry,
We
Pat.
called you after
Mark
the
and
meeting.
Mark and Pat.
Yeah.
Thanks
and
for
we're like,
remembering, Wes.
well, I'm a little nervous. It's not easy to tell this,
yeah.
but so Mark and Pat came over, and they'd been in contact with my girlfriend, and like, this is it's getting out of hand again. So let's get you some help. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I just never with my other business with weddings and stuff. I always found an excuse not to do it, basically. But it's something that has been on my mind for years because I knew it needed to happen. But COVID presented itself with a bunch of cancellations, and these guys were extremely supportive and told me just to do it for my health because it was getting bad. It was the disease is something that progresses over time, and the older you get, the worse it gets. And it was really starting to fuck with my health. I mean, I couldn't think. My brain was all messed up. I was feeling like shit all the time. I was unhappy. And the thing about it is when you're not drinking but you want to drink, you're more miserable than when you're actually drinking. So like during those like 4 months where I was like quote unquote sober, not really sober because I was like just dry drunk, where I was like wanting to drink but not drinking, I was miserable.
Yeah. I remember during that frame you were pounding O'Doul's a lot, and so
I was pounding the fuck out of O'Doul's, which is a stupid idea. If you're trying to quit booze, O'Doul's is, for me at least. You can, if it works for you, whatever. But for me, it was just a bad idea. And I was still smoking a little weed, which eventually that leads to your main
slippery
vice.
slope.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, so these guys were like, "Yo, it's fucking time. Let's do it." And so I convinced them to not make me go that day because I needed to tie up some loose ends. I talked to my girlfriend, and she was like, "All right, but we're fucking going the next day." So I did. Spent 43 days there, which is why I was absent. An amazing place. It was like an hour away in Smithville called the Last Resort Recovery. It's all men out there, so it's a recovery place for men. On the postcards, it's like horses and a pool, and it looks resorty, but trust me, it was not quite resorty, but a great place. Nice. You work the 12 steps. That's Alcoholics Anonymous. You work the 12 steps. I don't know if anyone out there knows about the program. You know what I'm talking about, but it's an amazing program. I learned a fucking shit ton about myself, about the disease, about how to manage it, how to be just a better fucking human, because I was a piece of shit, like a selfish fucking piece of shit, and that's what you do when you have a bad addiction. You put yourself above everything. This podcast, my own son, my relationships, everything.
In that order, podcast, then your son.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I was. It's like you get irritable. You're not happy. I think Mark was a target of a couple of my angry texts when I was in that state. And it's you can put together sobriety by just clutching the wheel and forcing yourself not to drink, but you're never going to be happy until you find something else and enable yourself to be happy without drinking.
What's the difference right now? Because you're talking about how then dry drunk or whatever, and and now you've kind of flipped to a different mode where you're wanting sobriety.
Yeah.
So what's the key difference there? What got you to push over that hump, I guess?
So I mean, besides just fucking hating my life and hating the way I felt, and realizing that now was the time. I'm 38 years old. It's like now or never, basically.
You look younger than Pat, by the way.
Thank you.
I think most of the listeners agree.
Well, I'm loving Pat's look. It's fucking fantastic.
The beef. Oh, so much has happened while you've.
I think the beef had to do that look because he was just getting destroyed for looking old.
It looks amazing.
I'm going to release my birth certificate, guys. I was born in 1985. I'm the youngest person on this fucking podcast. You know that bullshit.
No, you're not. You're
100%.
You're 30. You're 38.
So yeah, but Wes, what's the difference? I am curious about. We haven't got a chance to talk to Wes at all. This is the first time we're talking about this. You guys are party to it. The first conversation we're having about this.
Yeah, I got out last Tuesday, and then went right back to some other work I had to do and some more recovery stuff. The difference in how I feel, or difference how it works, is what you're asking.
Well, how you feel and what's making you, because it sounds like you're saying back in the first time, that first sort of 4-month window when you were sober, but kind of hitting the O'Douls and whatever else, maybe hitting the weed once in a while.
Just wishing it was a real beer.
Right.
You're a prisoner of your own.
I was.
Of your own construction.
Right,
now
you're feeling better. You got the mindset better. I guess I'm saying maybe somebody at home is thinking the same stuff. What was the switch for you?
So you have to do it for yourself, right? You can't, if you feel like you're being forced to do it for any other reason than that you really, really want to do this, it's probably not going to work. If it's you're doing it because the job tells you have to, or it's a relationship or anything like that, it's probably not going to work. You really have to want to do it yourself. From what I have gotten, and that's just kind of the difference. Is it was just fucking time, and I was fucking sick and tired. It's cliche, sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. Yeah. And it was just time. My son's 10 years old. I was tired of being lethargic and, not being the best father I could be, not being the best human I could be, and not being happy. I mean, that's just the bottom line, man. When you're in an addiction, whatever it is, alcohol, heroin, whatever the fuck it is, and you don't have the tools to help you with it, or you don't have a program that you're working, you're just fucking miserable. Even if you're not, you're, like I said, was more miserable and irritable and pissed off when I was just clutching the wheel and not drinking, but wanting to drink, right?
But now you're keeping your goals in your forefront and all that. It's more of a positive.
Now I'm working a program. Before I wasn't doing it. Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a 12-step program. You work it. You follow some simple shit. You with the rehab I went to, it's a fellowship of men and a huge support group. I got vulnerable with these dudes. I know more about these dudes than anyone on the planet. They know more about me than anyone on the planet. Deep, dark, trauma, the reasons why we drink and use. I mean, it's just the support system is super important. Like you guys are a great support system too. And,
Sure.
but, with people that, have the addiction and have the disease.
Empathize, right? They got the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to go out any information, but any of those guys have like micro penises? Is that what we're talking about here? Or?
I didn't hear about any micro penises. Thank God.
How similar to freshman year University of Kentucky was it? Like you got in there and it was like college, and also how similar to VH1's Dad Camp was it? Because you've kind of been through a program before.
I was thinking this too, Pat.
They could make a hell of a reality show out of a rehab for sure. But I think
were the guys
ultimate
similar?
Taxi cab confessions, basically.
Were the guys similar from Dad Camp? Because there were some characters in there that I would imagine ended up in rehab.
Oh, there were some fucking characters. Yes.
For those of you guys who don't know, Wes was on a reality show that is scrubbed from the internet somehow, and I've spent so many hours trying to find it, called VH1's Dad Camp. Right before his son was born, which seemed like a fake or JV rehab situation. But
it should have been called. It should have been called pre-rehab.
Exactly. Yes, I'm sure a couple of them may have spent some time in recovery too. But no, there was. I mean, the gauntlet. There's guys that are 18. Just like that lost like their whole families. They're addicted to heroin. There's like doctors. There was one guy that was like an elite like Marine like sniper, like these people are they
and then there was Wes,
and then there was me.
Any kind of walk of life, you can have somebody that's got an addiction problem.
Any kind of walk of life. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like when it comes to like saying it's all willpower. Like, I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's the disease just takes hold of you. Like, I mean, when I relapsed after those 4 months, like I remember buying the beer and like sitting in my kitchen and cracking the beer open and not even wanting to fucking do it. Like, I'm like, what in the fuck am I doing? And it's just like the beer just goes up to your lips and you're just like, holy shit. And then you find yourself like driving to the liquor store, not wanting to do it. Like, it's just, I mean, I could go into like how it works, but there's like, once you take that first drink, there's like an allergy that happens, like your body just like, and like a craving that happens. And then you go on like these like fucking benders, and they call them sprees. Then you wake up feeling remorseful. You do it again. It's just like this whole cycle, and it's just how the disease works. Like there's hard drinkers, but then there's alcoholics, and like you aren't happy unless once you take that first drink, you are unhappy unless you are fucking pounding alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my experience, and luckily you guys caught me kind of in the middle of, or like at the beginning of when it was going to get really bad before I switched over to like just pounding vodka.
And let's talk about that. Sorry, let's talk about that real quick. Like, you don't have to hit a rock bottom, right? Like you went in to get better. Like for people out there, like you don't have to wait until you kill someone in a car, right? Like
no. It's so in like the book, sometimes it tells you like it's that cycle after someone comes off like a long bender. That's when they're like most remorseful and like maybe like susceptible and willing to get help. So it's a good time to like try to get them help. But no, I mean, if you're unhappy and you are like at the end of your fucking rope and you are using and you don't want to do it anymore, like drinking wasn't fun for me anymore. Like, it
where
wasn't
did the
like
shift come, Wes? Because like we all came from, the four of us are all hard drinkers, and we all kind of grew up together. We've been friends for years, and we were always the crew of dudes that would party. We're always happy to party. When for you did it become a thing where you were like, oh man, this isn't about the social camaraderie anymore. This isn't even about like turning my brain off a little bit. This is just now becoming a debilitating issue. Like,
I mean, it's when it started to really like become an issue is when it started to like affect my work, like in my other job, like photography. Like I was showing up like, hungover, like, just fucking drinking myself to oblivion every night. And before the podcast, once we started this, it gave me some kind of stability to where like I obviously couldn't drink during the day because I had to function on the podcast. But other than that, my life was like obviously when I would have my son on weeks that I would have him, it would be like I could hold it together and be normal. But on those weeks that I didn't have him, it was like balls to the fucking wall because I had Monday through Friday to do whatever the fuck I wanted. I had to pull it together a little bit Friday night to be able to work Saturday at a wedding. And then it was off, Sunday was it again. I mean, I could pull it together when I absolutely had to, but if I didn't have to, I was drinking from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
I mean, I
know.
think that's what happened right before we kind of stepped in and we're like, hey, you might want to look into this. And I think, we asked you how bad was it, and you said it's bad. And then that's when, we suggested, hey, maybe you should not do work until you fix that.
Yeah. So. And I mean, and sometimes it does take that push from, it's a scary thing to ask for help, right? It's a super scary thing to admit that you have this, you think like, oh, I have a disorder. I'm fucking, dumb, or I lack control, or I'm not strong enough to beat this thing. And it's like, so it's defeating to ask for help. But it's the best thing that you can fucking do. But
you should. And to Pat's point, it's probably hard also to ask for help from people that you drink with. Like,
right.
Like it's kind of like, you can almost, at your point, be like, well, why are you talking to me about this? We drink together. Obviously, it might be a little bit different, but I imagine that's hard to do as well when your drinking buddies are trying to tell you, something.
Yeah, and it's like, you hear stuff like, well, just put down the liquor, or just stick to beer, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work.
Can we say, Wes? Thank you for not being an asshole. So I've been a part of getting like 4 or 5 people into treatment, and you by far were the easiest, and you were the most willing to help yourself, which is awesome. And I think you touched on that. That's something you've always kind of mentioned, and we always kind of took like, oh yeah, Wes will work it out. He'll figure it out. But it was really I know you were going through a hard time. It's really hard to ask for help, but there's respect for your friends and your family. Like thank you for.
Yeah, no, you guys. I mean, I absolutely wanted to do it and had wanted to do it for a long time, but you guys absolutely really helped me.
Seems like we got you at the right time.
You got me at the exact right time. I was worried about leaving the podcast. You guys alleviated those fears. I was leaving. I was worried about my other job, but COVID helped with there because all my shit was canceled. I was worried about my son. And that eventually got taken care of. So it was just, COVID's fucking terrible, but it was, for me, a blessing because it allowed me to fucking do this without as many repercussions. And then you guys and my girlfriend, were super supportive, and it was just, everything aligned, and I was like, fuck it, it's time. Let's go.
How much of your sobriety can you link back to the horse therapy out there at the facility? Did you find a horse that you loved?
I did. I had Fawn.
There's a horseback riding therapy?
So yeah, like the horses, the horse therapy, it was interesting.
It was a literal dude ranch.
Yeah, no, there's like horses everywhere. So there's 9 paddocks, 20 horses, something like that. And then there's three horse ladies. And they with the horses, they the horses can feel your emotions. They can feel you more than humans can. They feed off your energy and shit. So you work with them to boundaries and trust and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, it was a little.
Were they stressed out when they saw you coming with your fat ass?
No, now all those horses are depressed. They just take all that energy.
They just absorb all the negative.
They're all heroin addicts.
Look at this big boy. God damn it. Get me out of here.
I made sure when I went in there, I was 270 pounds. I was one of the largest I've been. So I made sure that when we went around to pick the horses, there was one Clydesdale, and I was like, all right,
nice.
I'm going to pick that Clydesdale because I felt bad for any other horse that my fat ass would have to get up on.
What was his name?
That's pretty nice.
The Clydesdale's name was Angel, as a female.
And Wes, I heard that you sustained a little bit of injury during your treatment. Is this correct?
Yes. Yeah. I believe I tore my meniscus. I still have to get an MRI, but yeah, I was playing basketball and I landed on my knee.
Light enough to play basketball again,
No, that's the thing. I was not light enough. That was the problem.
He immediately tore his meniscus.
Yeah, I landed on my fat body and tore my meniscus. And
he was playing a horse.
Yeah. What's treatment basketball like? Does the camaraderie go away and just the competition kick right back up on the court?
No, so you're not allowed to play 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or whatever. It's only games there's a game called 42 where you pick teams and you go around and shoot 3-pointers and the other team has to tip it in and whoever
this is making you look worse.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I tore my meniscus landing after tipping a ball.
He was playing. He was playing knockout.
Yeah,
he was playing
knockout,
knockout.
right.
Yeah.
Knockout games around the world, all that shit. No,
knockout.
they don't let you. They don't let you like get physical because there were a couple fights in there and people got thrown out.
Shit.
Yeah,
Tensions get high during recovery.
Well, but Wes, there's a $1 million question. There's an elephant in the room. I'm sure the listeners are curious.
Yes.
One, we love you. How are you? Like,
Love you too.
Hope you're happy.
Yeah,
and
much better.
Are you coming back to the show?
Yes. Right now, the plan is for me to come back. I want to come back. I've got some, we've got some things to talk about that we didn't get to do before the show that I need to, the thing about recovery is you have to put it first. Like when I was in therapy before, my therapist would say, listen, man, you got to put recovery first. And I'd be like, no, like obviously my son comes first. Like that's fucking crazy. But if you don't put recovery first, everything else falls to shit anyway if you relapse.
Because you relapse. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if you don't put recovery first, everything else goes to shit anyway. So, but yeah, the plan as of right now is to come back. I've got to do some stuff on the outside, and make sure that I get keep this foundation solid, keep my spiritual well-being intact, and yeah.
You just got to visit the Clydesdale every once in a while.
Yeah, go check in on Angel.
Go find your center. Yeah.
So you will be.
Yeah.
We did talk a little bit about scheduling though. Like the plan is probably you're coming back full time starting next week.
Yes.
We wanted you on the show tonight.
Yeah.
We've had a few conversations to talk about this stuff and say welcome back and everything. But you're probably going to be off a couple days. You might be on episode 500 on the podcast, but really you're coming back mainly next week. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, when you're gone for 45 days or 43 days, however I was gone, you
got some loose ends tied up.
Got a few loose ends.
How many emails? We started taking you off the emails on purpose because I didn't want to have we started a new text.
No. I've got I've got another task for you. I've got a note from Bubba.
Okay.
He says that you have to listen to the July 8th episode, which is where us and all the listeners get sappy about you. So add that to your list of a billion tasks you have to do before you start back up full time.
I love it.
I love
the feely stuff now, man. Let's get vulnerable, boys.
I have one more question that'll lead us into the show. If you guys are okay with that, Wes, we love you.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you back.
Love you guys too.
So, we talked about earlier this week, Will got a random package in the mail of someone trying to steal his sperm. Turns out it's Daddy, our forthcoming sponsor. So everyone should have a sperm kit. And we're going to have a sperm competition to see who has the highest count. Wes, I'm curious, how many times, how often, what was the jerk-off situation like in the treatment facility? Because I know you're a big JO guy. You're huge on it. It's one of the things that you're best at.
I do like it.
The listeners know. Yeah, the listeners are aware of this.
I do like it.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love a good crank,
So,
Right.
What was the scenario?
So in the beginning, I was very nervous to jerk off. I was trying to be like super like clear headed. Like I'm not gonna jerk off. I'm not gonna put anything in my mind. Like, and then that of course was like, what the fuck else am I gonna do?
That went away
week
first
week
night.
one was the horniest. All the week oneers are just horned up, nervous dudes.
I made it like 2 weeks. And,
2 weeks?
And,
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then once just like drinking, once that first one happens, then it's off to the races.
But it's a very healthy behavior. But where did you have a roommate?
Oh, everyone does it in the shower. The rooms are four dudes to there's like bunk beds. Oh, when I first got there, I was on a top bunk with nothing on the side of it, so I was just scared shitless I was gonna fall off in my sleep. So I I would clutch pillows and put pillows around me, and it was terrible.
What if somebody's having like real bad withdrawals or something? You just fall out of the bed when you
dudes did fall.
I knew a kid in college that broke his face in half, like falling off of his thing sober.
It's
pretty common.
It's dangerous. Yeah.
But cool. Let's get in the show. What do we say?
Wait, I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So I do want to shout out this place because it's an amazing place, and if you are out there and looking for a place to go to get some help, the Last Resort in Smithville is amazing. Shout out to Scott and Craig and the guys out there. Amazing dudes. The staff is fucking incredible. They were in recovery themselves. There's like a spiritual advisor. This dude Guy who's incredible. Gets you in touch with your spiritual side and like connected with that aspect of the program. And on a side note, if you are struggling with this stuff, please DM me. And if you have any questions, if you want to talk, please DM me. That's a big part of the program, is giving back and helping out, your fellow, brothers in this battle. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to DM you, Wes, because there's some stuff that I left by my front door before you went to rehab that you were supposed to take with you that's still by my front door. So I'm going to DM you about that later. Come pick it up, please.
Oh, okay.
That's how you can help.
Sounds like you could just say it right now.
You just said it right now.
But I'm going to get the DM train going with him.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm sure he has plenty of DMs.
Oh, I bet
by the
he'll
way.
get some submissions. Yeah. No, I mean, it's fucking incredible to have you back, Wes.
It's great to
good
be
to
back. I feel good, and thank you guys again for the support and the push. It was very much appreciated, and I love you guys.
Anytime. Love you
too,
too.
bro.
Yeah, we're doing on that diet thing. We're doing a competition, right? We're doing a jerk off competition, which
Well,
you might.
you lost a lot of weight, but see, I
You
was
might be in
about
the
to
lead.
Which, by the way,
say I
fuck
need
you, Wes.
another weight loss competition, and then now
can
you
do a
come
weight-
back all skinny. We can't even. We just
No,
got the
he'll just-
semen competition. That's it.
Well, let's let Wes win the
good one.
semen competition because he's sober, so he's probably going to have a higher count. So let's let Wes win the semen competition. Once he does that, then we can start the weight loss competition where he's at a disadvantage.
I don't know. Wasn't Will saying at one point that his numbers were super high?
No, my count was up.
yeah, your count was up. Okay.
I smoke a lot of weed, so my
Right.
motility was
Yeah.
suspect.
Right.
But my
And I-
count
and I-
was enormous.
Tired
And I was
sperm,
talking-
but a lot of them.
I was talking a big game
Yeah,
too because
exactly.
when I donated sperm 10 years ago, the office was ringing bells and they're like, this guy's sperm.
Mark, you challenge everybody. So you really got to put a deposit in this.
I
in
got
this
to
daddy
eat
kit.
wheatgrass or whatever it is next couple days. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think that sounds fantastic. I'm in.
The beef sperm is definitely coming off the bench. We're
I don't know,
There's a
beef-
limited amount you got there, and we're in the 6-man territory here with my sperm.
The haircut the look you've given yourself may give you more juice. Just the
Yeah,
fact
your
that
body-
you have that look.
Yeah,
Your body might adapt to it.
he looks like a runaway winner right now.
Yeah, right. If I was picking on looks, definitely the beef. Has
I
the
don't
best
think-
sperm count.
I don't think they're going to be able to keep his sperm cold. I don't think the device is going to work.
It's going to be in a
so
museum.
What's the first story?
All right.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck Wednesday? What the fuck? We're so excited to have Wes back. That was the first story. If you haven't, if you're a new listener or whatever, you came on when Wes was gone. Wes is an amazing, funny member of the podcast, and it's going to be awesome to have him back full time starting next week. But it's What the Fuck Wednesday, so let's hit a couple of listener submitted stories and voicemails and reviews before we head out today. And the first story was submitted by the world for What the Fuck Wednesday. It was the explosion in Beirut, Lebanon, the capital of Lebanon. It's a beautiful coastal city and country that are surrounded by Israel and Syria. And they experienced one of the most what the fuck moments of all time yesterday when a building in the city's port area exploded so hard that the shockwave could be felt in Cyprus, 120 miles away over water.
Yeah, it was like Wes in the rehab shower 2 weeks in.
Yeah. I mean, it's extremely sad. This is a huge tragedy, but yes, I mean the video of the explosion is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen filmed on iPhones. I don't know.
Remember that explosion
Yeah,
that
no,
happened
it
in
is.
West Texas? Remember the chemical plant that exploded in West?
Yeah,
It was like
Remind me
that.
of that.
Fucking insane.
Yeah, but this was in the capital.
Right.
In a crowded city, not the country. Yeah.
Friend of the program and friend of mine, Omar, Omi Homie on Instagram. He, I texted him. He's like, his wife and my wife are like best friends, and I texted him, and he was like, I was like, man, he's from Beirut, like he's Lebanese. I was like, is your family okay? And it's scary stuff going on. So thoughts and prayers to his family, everyone out there.
Hopefully they all were okay.
He was still trying to locate a few of them, and his aunts and uncles businesses were and houses were destroyed.
Oh my gosh!
It affected quite a few people in the city.
Oh, it was humongous. So there was an
terrible.
existing fire. What happened was this port area, there was an existing fire on all the videos, like smoke and stuff going off, sparks and fire. And then all of a sudden, a huge explosion from a quote unquote dangerous warehouse that was adjacent to the fire. And that was according to the Lebanese prime minister. Specifically, the prime minister says an investigation into the explosion is going to occur. His name is Hassan Diab, I think. And he says that the investigation will include, quote, revelations that will be announced about this dangerous warehouse, which has been present since 2014. The explosion will not pass without accountability. Those responsible will pay for what happened. So it kind of sounds like the prime minister knows that fucking warehouse was a huge fucking problem.
Well, and he and his family were injured, right? Like
I think some of his family members were injured.
Yeah.
This sounds like bullshit, right? Like it sounds like some bullshit's going on over there, right?
It's so shady.
There was like a rumor about it being a fireworks factory, right, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So
CNN reported that too.
Well, that was okay. So Lebanon's internal security chief Abbas Ibrahim said that it could have been caused by highly explosive materials confiscated from ships at some point and stored in that dangerous warehouse. And then earlier reports before that, obviously crazy. I mean, it was cockamamie. Said that it was a fireworks storage, and an explosion of that magnitude could be from fireworks is laughable.
Cam, our intern, had a really funny thing he said. He was like, because everyone's like, if you go on Twitter and you go online or whatever, everyone's like, oh, it looks like a mushroom cloud. It's nuclear, but that probably isn't true because they would have had to evacuate the city, which they didn't. And everyone, he's like, everyone's a fucking explosion and bomb expert now after being an infectious disease expert last week. Now everyone's a fucking bomb expert.
You know what?
Wait and see. But
this warehouse sounds like the principal's desk of confiscated shit. Potentially, right? That's what they're saying. Like they're saying it's very dangerous.
There was explosive shit in there.
There had a warehouse, to be military shit in there, something like Because how could it explode that big? It was.
You'd love to get in there.
Yeah,
it's Beirut for fuck's sake.
They're claiming fireworks, and then the fireworks hit a ship full of nitrate, which maybe shouldn't have been in there. Which nitrate's like fertilizer stuff.
Yeah,
and that may or may not be something at least as explosive as a ship full of nitrate.
They're not saying exactly what it is, and they're calling. And the PM is saying a quote unquote dangerous warehouse that's been there since 2014. Sounds like a giant fuck up, basically. Beirut resident Fadi Rumeh said, quote unquote, some buildings as far as 2 kilometers away are partially collapsed from the blast. It's like a war zone. The damage is extreme. Not one glass window intact. So we're talking a 1.5 mile radius from the blast. Buildings are just being fucking, got the whole
sad,
exterior.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
This footage from the streets was intense.
Exactly. With all those storefronts blowing out, like we're talking about, there's all kinds of people who are injured and killed with the glass and the explosion. I mean, just really bad stuff. Israel claims to have nothing to do with the explosion, despite being a neighboring country who's engaged with conflict with the local militant group Hezbollah along the southern border of Lebanon, but they're claiming that they're not involved at all with this big explosion in Beirut. As of the time,
let me tell you, you don't want to be involved with this explosion. This is not good.
No, for sure.
Honestly, I think there's no good outcome, but maybe an accident's the best. Hopefully, if it's someone that attacked this facility, that's not going to be good.
The video's fucking jaw dropping. It will drop your jaw. It's like a CGI movie guy created the perfect explosion.
How many times has Michael Bay watched this?
Oh my god, bro!
Michael Bay's watched it 7,000 times.
Oh my god, dude!
It's Beaver. You just seen it for the first time.
I had watched it earlier. Yeah, I wanted to watch it on the show.
It's insane. Yeah, that's your reaction. Everybody who hasn't seen it, make sure you watch it because you do need to see this. It's we need to get an explanation. As of the time of this recording, the death toll when I researched the story was at least 50 and 2,500 injured, and now I'm seeing it's like 78, 80 with 4,000 injured. It's just going to keep growing. It was a giant explosion in the middle of a very populated city. Lebanon is in need of blood donations and obviously a good fucking explanation of how that dangerous warehouse could explode in the middle of the city like that. The only good news out of this whole thing that it was not a nuclear bomb. There were some conspiracy theories out there saying it was a nuke. That has been debunked, but that is literally the only good news. Because
there's no good news. It's a disaster.
Yeah. So it is that it couldn't have been. It was it's not accompanied by nuclear radiation is the only positive. So taking it to hard factor, BNN and the rest of the world. I know we're all pulling for Lebanon on this one. It's a terrible tragedy for their country, and like Mark said, you don't want to be involved if you were any part of causing that explosion.
Absolutely.
All right. So pretty fun episode so far. Let's
uplifting.
Let's get to the next one. All right,
My dick fell off.
Yeah.
Grow a dick on my arm.
Big
Wes
time.
is starting a new, cleaner, healthier
I
life. I don't
know.
know.
It's very
that
uplifting.
was so joyous at the beginning.
Having Wes back is joyous. That's
100%. It's just, it's a serious episode.
Give us some more joyful stuff. Stop.
All right, well, you're going to love this one. It's from Charles.
Do something about it then.
I will. I'm next. It's a member of the Heart of Hive, Charles. I'm glad that everyone's back so I can now get my balls busted repeatedly. COVID has been creating a lot of stress and animosity for pretty much everyone it touches. And most people, guys, are dealing with this stress in somewhat typical ways, like exercising or drinking or fighting with their partners or all of the above. Others, unfortunately, have taken to a more nefarious and dark way or ways of dealing with the frustration and stress of COVID. For example, blowing up their least favorite bird. And that's exactly what happened in this next story. Authorities on Long Island were called to Silver Lake Park in Baldwin, Long Island on Friday, where they found a Canadian goose with a bomb duct taped to its chest.
That's funny. Duct
A lot of
tape.
people don't think it is funny, but
No, the duct tape part.
yeah, the duct,
duct tape,
yeah, a whole other level. It was at first unclear if the goose was part of some sort of Canadian suicide bombing terror organization, but it was quickly determined that the goose was in fact the victim of bird terrorism and not a terrorist itself. Authorities, guys, are unsure of how or why the foul plot was hatched. But luckily, the xenophobic bomber's plans were foiled when, according to a Facebook post from Lion, or the Long Islanders Orchestrating for Nature, said, quote, the explosive appeared to have been lit, but then it was soaked in water, presumably when the cowardly perpetrator let the bird go, and the bird wisely escaped to water. So they lit the fuse, and the bird ran right into the pond.
That's so awesome.
well, good.
That bird is a genius. That's awesome.
It's a waterfowl. That guy probably should have done it to a bird that doesn't like water.
Yeah, Pat slipped in another foul reference there.
Yeah, big time, baby. Hatched as well. The bird was injured by the duct tape used to fasten the explosives to its body and had to be taken to a local vet. But luckily, it was all fixed up and released back into the wild a few hours later, where it went
so
back
it can
to
attack humans.
Yeah, usual business of
park.
annoying and intimidating park goers.
So this guy,
Great.
I didn't know you had to light the C4 on fire.
Well, it wasn't C4. It was like they said it was fireworks, but I was looking at a picture of this, and I've been
Intense
I've been a
fireworks.
fireworks guy my whole life. I've never seen a firework this big, bro.
He just
it was
bought
like
the
a quarter
biggest
stick
firework
dynamite.
you can buy and
It was
strap it to a goose.
Goose exploding fireworks. Like
Yeah. Maybe he was trying to think ahead to the winter season and gets him down for a jacket. I don't know. But the goose is fine, guys. Thank God. Let's take it to the internet. Stacy Glass
How
says,
pissed, though, do you think this guy is?
oh, dude, so pissed.
Wow.
He
had
spent
to
a
have been
lot of
attacked.
time and money on that. Like,
Yeah. He's one of these guys that probably got attacked by a goose, maybe like a viral video that went, and then he's just embarrassed and he's getting revenge on this fucking goose.
A goose ruined his life.
Yeah.
The next attack's gonna be overkill. I'll put it that way with this guy. He's gonna make damn sure his plan works next time if they don't catch him.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a big pain in the ass to catch the goose and then hold it down while you were able to put a firework on it just to watch
I've written
it.
20 letters to the city about these geese.
they refuse to do anything.
taken into old Gus's hands.
Yeah. You forced me to do this. You forced my hand. Stacy Glass on the internet, guys, says, disgusting. Too bad the person can't get the eye for an eye treatment, minus going into the water to put out the firecracker, of course.
Whoa.
Which is very similar to a lot of the
That's a bit
comments.
much.
She wants the man to be exploded.
That's a bit much.
Oh,
The
my
crime,
God.
the crime for attempted goose explosion is actual explosion.
Human explosion.
There was 260 comments, and 240 of them were, let's kill this motherfucker.
Wow. Okay.
Mary Jane Anderson Andes says, we are overrun with Canadian geese, but this is horrific and not acceptable. So she's the only one that was kind of contrarian. Brenda Staudenmeyer says, remember when the Canadian geese took down that airplane in the Hudson River and the city euthanized every goose in every park? No, I don't remember that. That's why I
No,
added this comment.
that's not yet. There's no way that happened.
Because that was a thing. She says
No,
maybe
it's
this
just
person
giant
who
goose
did
cullings.
this can work
That's a
for the
dream.
city.
That's a dream she had and remembers.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And finally, guys, Dina Williams says, and Dina, I think maybe the lady doth protest too much. I think maybe the FBI should look into Dina as a potential suspect, because Dina says, not that hard to catch a goose. The POS who did this probably had help or a net. Yeah, maybe it was Dina Williams.
Yeah, Dina's like, maybe the person didn't want to explode the goose and just wanted to make a statement.
Look. Coming from a family of goose catchers, I can attest. Dina's correct. It's not that hard to catch a goose, especially like if it's sleeping or something. You know,
the Smith family goose catchers.
Yeah. Look, I'm just saying, like, there's been geese caught by Smiths for sure.
All right,
maybe save that comment while the FBI is involved, guys. And we could all use.
Look, I'm not scared of this. This to me is pretty funny. I'm glad the goose didn't get exploded, but it's a little bit comical.
Relocation. I mean, geese are assholes, but relocation is explosion's a little sadistic and
that's true.
Yeah, I don't like the torture part of it.
That's
the
like a kid
explosion
with a
and torture
magnifying glass over an ant, in the sun. That's a little much.
But I mean,
fire.
It's a Canadian goose. You guys have stepped in Canadian goose turds before, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, geese are a pain in the ass. We know that. We all agree that's the truth.
Geese are awful.
But keep it in your pants, guys.
There's a few of them. This
is an anti-geese podcast.
I'm pro geese. They're tasty. They're tasty.
Down all those planes.
Yeah.
Well, I remember growing up, your dad telling us a story about how he was hired to get geese out of a public building one time, and he soaked some raisins at Everclear and got them drunk.
That's right. He got the geese drunk on Everclear corn, and then he got fired from that job because the geese took off and they started flying into storefronts and shit because they were too hammered. So instead of catching all the geese when they were drunk, he accidentally just beset the town of Williamsburg, Virginia, with drunk geese.
What a day in that town.
He got him out of one building. Yeah, he got him out of one building, but
Colonial Williamsburg with all the fucking tourists walking around.
That place is so boring. That was probably
it probably spiced it up a little bit. Yeah.
Great plan until it wasn't. All right, guys, we can all use a way to release stress these days that doesn't deal with explosives and waterfowl, which is why I'm stoked to talk about our sponsor, Caliper CBD. What's great about CBD, guys, is that it helps you feel better without making drastic changes to your routine. I use it specifically to help me relax before bed, which usually results in me having a significantly more restful night's sleep. And I don't have to mess with those weird tincture eyedroppers my hippie ex-girlfriend tried to hook me on. I can take Caliper in the super easy dissolve powder form. I just bust open one of their precisely measured 20 milligram packets, pour it in my nightstand glass of water, and before I know it, I am cool, calm, and relaxed. And
You've been more well rested, without a doubt.
I mean, that's because you guys now let me sleep until my natural wake up time at 2, which I really appreciate.
That and also because you have access to chill in a glass, which is what I like to call Caliper CBD.
That's right.
Absolutely.
With the Caliper, you're still putting in 10 to 12 hour work days and then not looking like a piece of shit at the beginning of the workday. So
4 or 5 a.m. when I'm going to bed, that's when I'm really starting to chill out, guys. And with Caliper's powder form of CBD, it is clinically proven that you absorb 450% more CBD compared to those hippie-ass tinctures. And Caliper gives you all the benefits of CBD in just 15 minutes, which is twice as fast as the CBD oil.
Not comparable, really. The best CBD product I've ever used.
Do you want the Ford Fiesta of CBD, or do you want the fucking Ferrari? Then try Caliper.
Or that new little truck with the little truck bed.
You want the Bronco. Radio. I'm sure that'll be on radio today. Listen to that.
Anyway, guys, Caliper CBD comes in affordable 10 and 30 count packs. You can get started for just $20 or under 20, in fact, and I recommend the 30 count. And unlike some products out there, Caliper is completely THC free, all the goodness of CBD with no high. Right now, you can get 20% off your first order when you use the promo code FACTOR, that's FACTOR, at the website trycaliper.com. That's caliper with a P, CALIPER, trycaliper.com/factor. Throw in the promo code FACTOR. You could try it risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/factor. Don't forget the promo code to get you 20% off your first order.
Hey, guys, when do you want to do Predict It?
Toss it in.
Just do it now.
Do it now. Okay. All right, it's time to make some money with Predict It, guys. I'm absolutely not giving up making some cold, hard cash on politics. And when you go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20, you too can watch your portfolio rise with our tips. I assume you guys are still killing it. You can Predict It.
We've been trying to. This VP market, though, it's been slippery for all of us. We at first had made some solid moves where we all made some cash on early risers, but now it's just been sort of a mess.
You got to sell, right? You got to get in early and sell when it goes up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the VP market because we were
fresh
talking
set
about
of eyes
before.
on this would be helpful.
Well, I mean, before I went in, and it's funny because one of the only things that I would ask the people at like the staff there to like check their cell phones was like, has Biden picked his VP yet? Because I've got because I had all my money in fucking Demings, and apparently
that's still all right.
It's still okay. Yeah. She's top 3, I think. So one of my other guys says that Rice is the pick. She's at like what 30 cents, and then Kamala was at 60. She's now at like 49. But yeah, so it's a great fun. Like this conversation is a lot more fun if you've got money on this market. Vacation money.
We all went in on bottoms a little bit.
Bottoms and Demings were a big ones. Now I've shifted everything to Harris. So
it's the favorite. That makes sense. I like the coin flip market we talked about yesterday, Wes. But what are you saying today? What do you like?
I mean, it looks like I'm going to stick with Demings. I mean, I really don't know. I'm going to ride Demings out. If she comes through for me, it's like $3,000. So I'm fucking really pulling for her. But
there we go.
The police thing might end up hurting her. I don't know. It could be.
But Kamala Harris also was a prosecutor, so
right,
she wasn't.
If Harris is the favorite, I know I've been saying no cop. But if Harris is still the favorite in all these rumors, then that means Demings has a shot too.
Right. Right, but let's like look at the different markets. So this week's money is on when will Joe Biden announce his VP. So everyone says next week, all the news outlets next week it's going to happen. Predicted has that, the market's August 9th to August 15th. Monday's the 10th. That's at 75 cents, that band, August 9th to the 15th. So every major news outlet, like I said, says next week. So it seems like a lock. Now after August 15th is a very sexy play, in my opinion, which is at 22 cents now. So if Joe has taught us anything, it's that Joe doesn't do things at normal or expected speeds, right? Yeah.
Oh, he delays intensely delays everything.
Exactly. So that might be the one to buy. So like if you creep into next week goes by, it's like August 12th, that market's going to shoot up and you could easily double your money by August 12th, August 13th, could go up to 50. Then you just fucking get out, make your money and walk away no matter what happens. Yeah. Pump and dump. So that's the beauty of predicted, right? You can get in, you can get out whenever you want. You're never locked into anything.
I like that play.
Very true.
It's a good play.
I like that play.
Stakes is back.
It's a good play.
Solid predicted advice.
What's that URL?
Anyway, go to predicted.org/hard factor 20 to get your free 20 on us. Legal in all 50 states. A hell of a ride, so give it a shot today.
Sweet. All right, guys. Last story. We're doing voicemails and reviews. Do you want me to start with voicemails? Because we have quite a few reviews.
Oh, yeah. This episode's going long, so for those for the faint of heart, just don't worry about it.
This is going to be 20 minutes. This is going to be 20 minutes of voicemails and reviews and our commentary on it easily. So what do you want first, voicemails or reviews?
I like a good review.
Go reviews.
Me too.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be tired after this one. All right. All right. From Lightning Round Logan. Great show. Better shout outs. That's what we're doing. We give out shout outs when they're due, when people submit reviews, when people submit stories. So thanks for recognizing that, Logan. Right back at you. It's your shout out recognition. And now I'm recognizing your shout out recognition.
Shout out Lightning Round Logan.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Killer way to keep up with the news. It says hosts keep it light while still hitting on topics you should know about each day. More importantly, July 31st is a listener's B-Day. So show his birthday. So show him some love. Happy birthday to my dad, Dano.
Dano.
Keep it up, boys. Hope Wes is doing well. So what a great review to start with.
Thanks, Logan. Appreciate you, buddy.
And happy birthday belated to your dad.
Yeah,
Dano.
happy birthday,
nice.
Dano.
All right.
Dano.
That's why I said.
Gotta be Dano.
Too.
It's gotta be Dano.
I said two of us think Dano. Two of us think Dano.
I've never met a Dano. I've only met Danos.
Shit.
Hey, well, Dano.
Listen, two of us got it right.
We covered the base.
Next one's from Trainwreck15. It says, keep up the good work. And it says, I'm fairly new to the podcast. I really love how you call out both sides of the aisle. I wish Congress would grow up and do their job and help people who are suffering financially. And no shit. And since you said I could ask you guys anything, what's your favorite beer? Mine is Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Wes, you want to take this one?
I can definitely tell you my previous favorite beer, probably Beck's. I love a good.
Nice.
I love the good cold Beck's.
You did love Beck's.
Yeah.
That's also my favorite beer, but I don't drink beer. I drink wine. But if I am going to drink a beer, it's a Beck's as well. That's
you know what mine is right now? Not to be a homer, but I got the Cigar City Variety Pack, which is like one of Florida's biggest. I get not microbrewers anymore, brewers, and Florida Man, the beer, the IPA.
I saw
fantastic.
that. On your
like that?
social media.
Oh my god, High Alive's their #1 seller. I like Florida Man.
It's delicious. Huh?
It's got real bits of meth in it.
I'm I'd say like I probably anything from Abita, just from the nostalgia days of LSU. But also Magic Hat number 9 is a good one. And then also generally, I mean, 90% of the time, it's just going to be a Coors Light or a Bud Light or something like that for me.
For me, I used to hate IPAs up until about like 3-4 years ago in my early 30s, and now I'm a pretty big fan of like a cold IPA. All right, next up, James Chumbly says, need new merch. 5 stars. This is good because Wes is back, but this is good because Wes is back. Great show. Need more time. /shirts in different colors. We've been slipping on the merch, but our merch guy is Wes.
We have Wes.
Love merch.
First submission. So James is right, and then also Vinny Lukazeski. He sent in this merch submission for you, Wes, to consider as your first one back.
Go for it.
Okay.
He says, all right, I've been toying with the T-shirt idea to pitch y'all, and every time I'm stoned, I start to think about it. I don't know what image to put on the back yet, but I'm thinking the front, you go with the pocket tee because everybody loves a pocket tee with a frocket with the Hard Factor logo. And on the back, it's like Macho Man staring down at us from the heavens with a tree full of hives representing the Hardo hive. And then we're like standing under the tree hanging out. And then he says Pat is poking, or the Beeve is poking the Hardo hive with a stick.
You damn right I am. Making sure they're still with us.
I absolutely, I don't know. I'll let Wes answer. I absolutely love that, except it might be a little niche. We might need to go a little more.
Well, I'm just saying. All right, look, we got to get the ideas flowing. And Vinny, thank you.
I mean, I hate to like. I'm personally, Vinny. I'm not a fan of a pocket on my tee. I don't know about you guys.
Rocket guy?
I'm not a rocket guy.
I like
they accentuated my big breasts. You know,
it is tough when you're a man boob guy.
When you're a man boob guy, a pocket is no good.
What about putting cigarettes in them?
No, you don't want to do that, Mark.
You look like you're like a what do they call them? Slacker? What greaser?
You look cool like a greaser. You look real cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
All right, next one. There's only 12 more guys.
Still love you, Vinny.
Does this pass the test rates? Give these boys their beans. The boys have become part of my daily ritual. Give these boys full-time employment. Prez, the hive has spoken. Thank you there. Nice. Good call. Next one's from Against the Griff. Barstool and Wrestling. Match up Barstool employees with a wrestler who would match their personalities. Example, Portnoy's obviously Vince McMahon, but what about PFT, Big Cat, Tommy Smokes, etc.? PS, come to Nashville for the debate. We need a Hard Factor with the boys collab.
Nashville.
We would love to come bust with the boys in Nashville.
Yeah. PFT would probably be like Chris Jericho, maybe Shawn
Jericho's
Michaels.
a good one. Back when he had the hair.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, when he had the hair. Yeah, I would say
or
probably
like
Jericho.
the Edge, except Edge was too tall.
Yeah. Big Cat would probably be what, Hulk Hogan maybe? He's got to be like he's got to be probably like
I think he's like the
champion,
Big Show.
or
More like the Big Show probably.
He's not that big. Yeah, I mean maybe. That's not
Big Boss Man maybe.
Big Boss Man, hilarious.
Ted DiBiase?
Tommy Smokes would be a heel. Tommy Smokes would have to be a heel, right? So he'd be like Ric Flair type. He'd be like a sneaky guy. He's the guy that tricks you. To win,
definite
right? Like,
trickster. I don't know that we need to Against the Griff. That's an excellent question. We should
We'll have to come up with
try
a
to come
list.
up with a better roster than that, though. You know, Brandon Walker would also be good at matching people up. He's got quite a bit of
for sure
wrestling knowledge.
be a good blog if it hasn't been done already, but it might have been. But it's great, good review there.
I've done politicians as wrestlers, but
I've seen Lord of the Rings employees, politicians as employees, a lot of different things. Mace Actual writes, great pod. I love the pod, listen every day, and just want to shout out my buddy who had me tune in, Greg Schwab. Great work, Greg Schwab. Keep spreading the word. Yeah, good job.
Well done.
Next one's Dookie Lukey 41 says Seaville. Born and raised in Seaville, that's Charlottesville for everyone out there. Where did you guys live and where when you were here, and what were your favorite bars or like things to do? Luke, we lived like
Azalea Drive, right?
69 Mill Creek Drive. We lived at 69 Mill Creek Drive. And then
when you guys lived there, Wes and I lived at the Altamont. Which is a downtown
high class living.
Yeah, and then we all moved into the Azalea Drive place.
Yeah, and we worked on the mall, most of us. Yeah, I mean,
we used to go
to the mall.
We used to go to Ventana and see our boy Michael, who would make a great drink and tell us about his days moonlighting as a porn actor.
What was that wing place? The good Irish bar with those wings.
Oh, somethings.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
kind of like
O'Sullivan's-
I think it's
campus?
closed down though, unfortunately.
O'Reilly's, O'Sullivan's.
You know,
Yeah.
because they had a cheesesteak that was a wrap, and then that was a
Yeah.
great hungover food. Wow.
Those wings were so good, whatever they were called.
We were just post college, and we didn't hang out in the L or whatever it's called, the college area. We hung out in, like the mall and like where that Irish bar was and stuff like that. Yeah. Next one, Blue Smiles writes, best podcast on the Barstool Network. My absolute favorite of the network, probably because they act like actual adults and not idiots. Keep it up, guys. Love the show, politics and all. Hey, not all of our coworkers are idiots. And at first, when I read this, I thought they meant the Barstool News Network, and he was being sarcastic.
He's saying
or
the
she was
whole
being
deal.
sarcastic. Yeah, he
Thank
said the
you,
whole
Blue
deal.
Smiles.
So yeah, nice.
Sweet.
Nice one. Next up is Danny Kane. Says unbiased podcast. Unbiased as in they just make fun of everyone. Great way to get the news without an obnoxious spin to fit one side agenda. And the soundtrack to Train Spotting would be playing during my crime spree. Whoa. Thanks, boys. Have a
Yeah.
great blanking day.
Solid
and he had to write
choice.
blanking because apparently if you write a curse word, your review doesn't go through an Apple
Oh, really?
publishers.
We probably
So
have
a great
tons of
fucking
reviews
day.
that have been demolished by the curse word rule.
Yeah, everyone writes have a great fucking day, and then it doesn't go through.
Great
Today, though,
soundtrack,
on
by the way.
Thursday-
Kicks off with Lust for Life with Iggy Pop. Great crime tune. Great
Yeah.
crime tune.
And that is what we mean by unbiased. We make fun of everyone. We don't shill for any party. Next one's, this is the worst fucking one. God damn it. All right, it's from Sticky.
It's so long.
From
Read it.
Sticky Ricky Bobby, I'm gonna have some scrolling problems here. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, or as our brothers in the South call you, Jesus, we thank you so much for this bountiful harvest of Domino's, KFC, and the always delicious Taco Bell. I just want to take time to say thank you for my family, my two sons, beautiful, beautiful, handsome, striking sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, or TR as we call them, and of course my red hot smoking wife, Carly, who is a stone cold fox. Who, if you would rate her ass on 100, it would easily be a 94. I also want to thank you for my best friend and teammate, Cal Naughton Jr., who's got my back no matter what. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, we also thank you for my wife's father, Chip. We hope that you can use your baby Jesus powers to heal him and his horrible leg. It smells terrible, and the dogs are always bothering with it. Dear tiny Jesus in your golden fleece diapers with your tiny little fat balled up fist. Dear 8-pound, 6-ounce newborn infant Jesus, don't even know a word yet. Just a little infant so cuddly, but still omnipotent. We just thank you for all the races I've won in the $21.2 million. Love that money, and I have accrued this past season. Also, due to a binding endorsement contract that stipulates I mention Powerade at each grace, I just want to say that Powerade is delicious and it cools you off on a hot summer day. And we look forward to Powerade's release of Mystic Mountain Blueberry. Thank you all for your power and your grace, dear baby God. Amen.
Shake and bake.
That's a dangerous review. It sets a precedent of
Wes,
we
you
missed. We had to
this-
sing. We
sang
last
Scatman, bro. We like the whole
yeah.
song.
Oh, you're coming back for well. If you make it for episode 500, you're gonna
They're
have
starting
to
to
sing too a little
exploit
bit.
us.
Yes. And for all the listeners, we said, due to time constraints, we weren't going to read long ones, but we're already way over.
Let's keep it going. Wes is back.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. Mitch, next one's from Mitch. That was the toughest one. It's all downhill from here. Next one's from Mitch Fletch. It says, give these men a long-term contract. Excellent show. Highlights from this week include shoes are prisons for your feet, according to Florida residents, and a man that was furious over Jewish people on horseback.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mitch Fletch. Yeah.
Yeah,
He likes
shoes are
he
prisons
likes
for your
the
feet, man.
variety. Yeah.
Foot prisons.
Yeah. Foot prisons suck.
where were the Jewish people on horseback?
Well, they were upset at Billy Crystal about something.
It was a white supremist group called the
yeah.
Aryan Cowboys, and we were
That's what it
saying
was,
that
yeah.
God, they must hate seeing Billy Crystal on his horse in City Slickers. Just
Yeah.
must make them so mad.
Not their favorite movie. City Slickers 2, because in City Slickers 1, he's not on a horse. Next one's from Knight's Bud. It says, great show. Great listen, news with humor to keep you sane. Hopefully this review actually goes through because it's the fourth time, so I'll not add explicit wording this time. # being censored. Think you guys should try
Thanks,
and get
Apple.
Spike. Yeah, exactly. Think you guys should try and get Spike Cohen on for an interview. Funny, passionate, just like you guys. So keep up the great work and have a great expletive day.
Spike Cohen.
Great fucking day. Yeah, I've heard that before.
He looks like he's a libertarian nominee for VP. Interesting guy. Looks kind of like Julian Assange. Yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah, definitely look into it. All right, next one's from K Maldonado 19. Says, great podcast, Pat's a lib, though. This one says, PS for PlayStation. R1, circle, R2, right, left, right, left, right, left. Xbox is RB, I don't even know what that is. Right back bumper. Fuck Xbox. RB, B, RT, right, left, right, left, right, left. That doesn't even, it's like gibberish. I don't know what Xbox is.
Came out
next
and out
up-
or just got you to say something like secret.
Probably. It's probably some code.
It's like a grand thing. Now we're gonna have.
Yeah. Well, look, the joke's on you because I hate Xbox. Next one's from Ashley, and I think this is the last one. Thank God.
lady.
And this one is probably one of the best ones. I might be missing one actually. I'm going to have to check. I might be missing one. If not, we'll get that one on Friday. This one's my favorite one, though. Ashley says, boys will be boys. I'm a 30-year-old woman living in D.C. who has been listening to you guys for a couple years now. I only mention this fact because I'm sure I am not your target demographic, and yet I'm one of the biggest fans nevertheless. You remind me of the boys I grew up with back home in Michigan, where you can border on the inappropriate and cunningly get away with it. Only because you execute your humor with such wit and intelligence.
Aww.
Keep it clever, keep it smart. I can tell you guys are ready for the next big thing, and thank you for providing me with a little slice of home every morning. So, how about that?
Wow,
How about that?
Ashley? Thank you for such kind words.
It's good to be back.
All right, guys. 5 voicemails, then we're done.
Big Ounce is still leaving voicemails, huh?
What's up, fellas? It's Big Ounce. I need to issue a retraction of a previous voicemail I left. A couple weeks ago, I said that the Twitter hack was definitely state-sponsored or like a very sophisticated group and definitely not some kid in his basement. Well, turns out that's exactly what it was. Florida man, Florida kid, 17-year-old, just fished a Twitter employee and got in. Very simple. So, yeah, I was very, very wrong. Well, later, fellas. How's it going?
I miss Big Ounce.
I was zero cool.
Yeah, don't
Little hackers
hackers
reference, guys. Come on.
Don't beat yourself up, Big Ounce. I'm pretty sure most people didn't think it was a 17-year-old kid in Florida. By the way, Florida Man Friday has about 50 stories stored up already. I don't know what we're going to do. Probably going to be another long episode. It's
Episode
also
500 might be like
500.
might be like 6 hours long.
Yeah,
I don't know. It can't be that long, but it's
starting next week, we're going back to, even with Wes, we're going back to under 40 or whatever. But we're sorry, 4 more to go. Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Episode 500 is going to be long as shit. Yeah.
What's up, Hard Factor boys? It's Bob the Ripper again. First and foremost, I'll try to make this as brief as possible, but I'll apologize to Jake from North Carolina first. I think that was a little uncalled for. He's just trying to voice his opinion. Sorry, Jake. Second of all, I was catching up on some old episodes, and there's one from probably a couple weeks ago. You guys are talking about some chick in Florida who like stuffed a crack pipe up her ass. And conveniently, as I was driving to work this morning, I pull into our office, which is on a pretty busy road. There's just this dude with a full-blown suitcase just standing in front of our office, just berating cars as they stopped. And it's clearly a crackhead. And I don't know, it's just kind of hilarious and sad at the same time, because every car that would stop, he would just yell like, you know, get out the car, fight me. Like he's trying to fight like 100 people at once. It was pretty wild. But question, follow-up to that is, I feel like everybody has just like a pretty funny crackhead story from the past. I know where we live, I've got a few. Have you guys had any run-ins with crackheads or any funny stories? Yeah, let me know. Thanks, boys. Keep it up. See ya.
Yeah, a lot actually, very recently.
Before we answer that, I do want to say one thing, Bob. It's not necessarily sad. That might be his job. You know, he's out there with his briefcase. You show up to do your job. He shows up to do his job, which is yelling at cars with his briefcase.
We live in Austin, Texas. Will, do you want to tell your story about Big Red? Or
the Cherry Red.
Cherry Red.
I mean, I think I've mentioned it on the pod before. It's a fucked up story. It's definitely not a funny story. But I mean, it's crazy. Some guy was doing the same, screaming at me outside the car, like just wanting cash or whatever. And I like roll down the window. I gave him some sunglasses because I didn't have any cash. And he was like, he was just a crazier homeless dude. And he was like, all right, man, I'm about to pop some Cherry Red and go buck wild on some motherfuckers' windshields. And like he's, trying to do the windshield washing. And then I drove
Man,
by.
I bet those got so clean.
Very clean. But then I drove by like a couple hours later, and there was an ambulance, and everybody was tending to this man who overdosed on whatever cherry red is.
He went buck wild on his heart too. Yeah, I mean, we live in Austin, Texas. There was one of my routes to one of my IT jobs, I had to go by the same homeless guy. He was a young guy. For the most part, he was okay, but every once in a while, he would just go crazy. And one morning, he started attacking a minivan. I guess what he was doing was he was cutting his own hair with giant shears, and he had like whole patches in his hair,
Like novelty shears?
like huge shears, and like he had patches of like hair missing in his head. He looked crazier than normal because he's missing a lot of chunks of hair, and then he started bleeding from his head because he missed it, and someone gave him shit for it. So he started like attacking the minivan with the shears, and I called the cops on him because he was like attacking cars with shears.
Yeah. One time we were shooting at a truck stop, and we all followed this guy who lived in the woods outside of the truck stop, right off a highway. That was really dumb. That guy was definitely on crack cocaine, and we were in his lair. But
the dude who bought the property right next to the truck stop.
he didn't buy it, Will, but he lived there.
Oh, he's just squatting on it.
Are you talking about the sketch we did where the guy for a pack of cigarettes and 6 beers told us
Yeah.
about how all the truckers had sex with hookers, and that was the goal?
Yeah.
Follow me to my house, and we're like, okay, is your house
guy's
in
name
the
was
woods?
Rock.
It was Rock.
That was a bad
3
day.
more.
Stupid move.
I don't know if this is the right place to call or not. I'm looking for the boys from Hard Factor. Question is, would you rather have all the answers to all the conspiracy theories that are going on, or have the confirmation that aliens are real? All right, boys. Have a great fucking day. Thank you.
Okay,
that's easy.
Quick note. We might need to leave a new voicemail because I called in and it is confusing. Now, obviously, he was confusing himself prior to calling in, but it is like, this is Google and blah, blah, blah.
What happened to the bong rip intro?
We removed it or something. It's now like it's definitely not.
It used to be
any
me
indication.
ripping a bong and saying, you've reached
Yeah.
Hard Factor, leave a message.
We need another Hard Factor message.
Wow.
So he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So what do
Somebody
you guys
destroyed
think?
greatness by getting rid of my greeting.
So aliens or the truth about any conspiracy theory in the world?
Or
Wes?
Earth conspiracy. Yeah, or all Earth conspiracies or outer space conspiracies.
I mean, the other one encompasses aliens too, so you just go with the other one.
Yeah,
and find out
exactly.
about aliens anyway.
Wes nailed it. You go with the conspiracies because immediately, obviously, that includes aliens.
It's no fun when you play the Wish from a Wishes game, guys. It's no fucking fun. It's no
So
fun.
Pat, let's play it the right way. What do you pick?
Well, fine. Aliens do exist. There you go. That's the proof I needed. I'll go with all the other conspiracies.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to
agree.
sleep better at night knowing if JFK was killed in a conspiracy rather than if aliens are real. So I'm going conspiracy theories.
You already know aliens are real. What's the point?
Yeah, all the other conspiracy theories for sure. All right.
Yeah.
2 more.
Hi, my name's Eli, calling from Wisconsin. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Anyways, from Wisconsin, you guys butchered Oconomowoc and Ashwaubenon, for the record. But, so, here, I'm proposing a question. My question is, so Trump has these federal agents coming out and about into the federal cities to reduce crime, which arguably could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, what have you. But I think he should avoid, at all costs, sending cops or the federal agents to Milwaukee, even if they're coming in good faith and only to fight Antifa or what have you. I think if he sends the cops or the agents to Milwaukee, he's going to get watergated so hard because one of the Antifa people might not be Antifa and it's going to be a DNC worker, and then it's going to be Trump spying on the DNC, and then Trump gets watergated. Kind of curious on your thoughts on this question. Let me know. Long-time listener. Really great show. Hope you all have a hell of a day.
Oh, we lost your video, Wes. So I would say, I mean, summing that up, it was pretty long. He's basically saying if Trump tries to pull this shit in Milwaukee, he thinks the DNC might put like moles in there, or essentially, if Trump arrests the wrong person that's tied to the DNC, he will get in trouble.
He's pointing out the powder keg scenario of if you send federal troops to the DNC.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I had not thought about that, but everything that he brought up, like, sounds like you could really have some like clashes between between the DNC peeps and the.
Do you think?
federal
I mean,
officers.
I think it could be a wise move. I'm thinking, the DNC. I wouldn't put it past them to try to get someone to pretend they're Antifa.
Well,
And
hold
then
on.
maybe-
I'm really glad that this question was asked because I have a theory that we're living the 1970s right now. Like, if everything's cyclical, like right now,
Oh
this
yeah,
is
let's
the
hear
70s.
let's hear this theory.
Well, hold on, and some shit came out recently, right? That apparently, and it's not necessarily confirmed, but the Trump organization was trying to link Antifa to be a foreign terrorist organization so that they could tail them and get more information on them, a la when fucking Nixon was fucking with the Black Panthers and the hippies and shit. So, yes, the answer is yes to the question, in my opinion. I think we're in the 1970s.
Well, clearly you think he's going to get Watergated because you think we're living in the 1970s, which is just
So
insane.
you think Biden is the next Jimmy Carter, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he's big peanut guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Trump
think
might-
Carter is Carter
might
still alive?
want
Did he
to
die
minus
this year?
PQs.
I think he's alive, isn't
I
he?
think he is still kicking around.
I think that he would be a better president than Biden. I'll put that out there now.
Last one.
As is.
What's up, fellas? It's Cole from Philly. So, just gonna cut right to the chase here. So, this past Thursday, I had surgery on my balls. Everything's cool. Everything turned out well, great, fantastic. I'm on a full recovery. But this shit fucking hurts. And I just ran out of all the good shit that the doctor gave me. And, so I guess my question here is, other than like hard drugs, what's a good thing to like take or do to get your mind off of like a post-surgery injury or just like a funny ass surgery story? Because those exist too. All right, later.
I mean, Cole, tell your doctor you ran out of the drugs, and because the doctor knows
First
that you
and
had ball
foremost,
surgery.
yeah.
Because the doctor gave you ball surgery. So
Yeah, I was going to say jerk off, but I don't think that applies here to this
No,
specific
Cole's
surgery.
Cole's out of the sperm competition game that we're gonna have with amongst the hosts. Listeners are excluded because of in recognition of Cole's surgery. R.I.P. to Cole's.
Well, Wes just spent
pain
43
tolerance.
days finding out how to deal with pain without substances. Wes, do you have any ideas?
So one great way is to meditate, which I don't know how to do yet, but I'm trying to get it to work. Another way is just to turn your attention to doing something for someone else. Take your mind off it by doing work, a little tasks around the house. If you can't stand up, that's going to be tough. I'd recommend what Mark did, and going back to your doctor. Maybe did Cole get a vasectomy? Is that what happened?
He's too young.
Cole's
for
a
that.
young
Seems
guy.
young for
Cole's
a
a very young guy. He was on one of the
Right.
debates. Yeah.
Unless he's really been active, he doesn't.
I think
need one
Cole
yet.
twisted his nuts.
I'm going to text him now and see
little
what's wrong with his
torsion
balls.
situation.
Yeah, torsion. Yeah.
Yeah, the meditation. I'm not good at it, but I have been trying to just like zone
Yeah.
out in the shower. And
Yeah,
that's
that'll work.
for
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
a long time.
That's not going to work for balls.
Yeah, for ball surgery, just listen to ASMR and be quiet and meditate.
No, I'm saying like the water's
Get the
running on
fucking
your
pills.
head. The water's running on your head, so it like takes your mind to the different part of your body. And
Yeah,
then
maybe
you just
cut
chill.
a finger off. And
Yeah, I was
that'll
going to
hurt
say, poke your eye with a screwdriver, and you'll.
Yeah,
be all
it's
right.
like, have you ever seen those people that are like, wear a rubber band on your wrist so you can snap it against your wrist whenever you
Yeah.
want to concentrate on something that's not fucked up. So like,
Hurt
Yeah.
someone else, Cole. That'll make you feel better. That's one thing I found.
and that's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Not much.
Can I
of
say?
it.
Can,
Yeah,
can
go
I say
ahead.
one thing? Because I totally forgot to mention someone that I would feel really terrible if I didn't
Take
mention.
us out. We'll just mention it and then take us out.
All right, so I have to mention the guy who really was instrumental in for a long time. This has been going on, like I said, for years. And the guy I first reached out to, his name is Dr. Bob Baer. He's been trying to get me to go in there a long time. He was crucial to getting me in there and all this stuff. So I have to shout him out. If you're in Central Texas, look him up. He's got a great program. That's what I want to say. So thank you, Dr. Bob. I would feel terrible. I got caught up and didn't just fucking nervous and shit. So I have to
Take us out.
Take us out, Wes.
that's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you for listening. It is so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for everything. I hope to be back on the show coming up full time, and then
What's on Friday?
Friday is 500 show, right? 500
Yeah.
show. Sorry, I'm a little rusty. For Florida Man Friday too. So apparently we've got a lot of submissions. So it should be a
most
good
ever.
one. Yeah, and most importantly, have a great fucking day.